Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I'm your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names of kicking candy ass live in the color here with you on Grande's Graveyard. Happy Thursday, everybody. Man, it's been a busy ass week at work for me. I don't know about y'all, but I've been chilling like a villain and I was trying to come up with show concepts for this week. I know today was the 40th anniversary of My Bloody Valentine. Originally, that was going to be the show. I was going to do the original and the remake. However, I don't have a copy of the remake. I really don't have a desire to rewatch the remake. And to be honest, I felt that's what everybody else in the world is probably thinking about talking about right now. And I never like to go with the flow at all with shit like that. So I figured I was thinking to myself, like, what other good Valentine's Day horror movies are there that aren't slasher movies? And the first one that came to mind is none other than Brian Usna's Return of the Living Dead Part 3. Yes, she's to die for. Yes, I fucking love Melinda Clarke. She is to die for. I agree with the tagline. We've got a couple people already here. Mr. AJ Zitro's in the hazy. What's going on, good brother? Hey, where's freaking Hacksaw Jim Duggan at? King Nee Gore's in the house. What's going on, my friend? Dude, your live stream the other night was a lot of fun, man. It's crazy how long they go on. Like, I'll just be sitting there thinking no time has passed, and the next thing I know, it's like, holy shit, that was 3 hours. Like, holy crap. Like, blink and you miss it. But that's what you get when you get, have good time, have a lot of fun, good guests, good discussion topics, all that good stuff. So I had a really fun time in your stream the other night. I got some things to show before we get into the live fan commentary for Return of the Living Dead 3. I got some cool stuff. I got some buys in the mail. This one I actually haven't opened, and I have not seen either one of these movies since theaters. And this one I think is like 12 years, and the other one has got to be close to 15 years, which is fucking crazy. First one up, it is Orphan from 2009, I believe, directed by Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. But I remember this being a really, really fun, like, killer child film. Really wanted to give it a rewatch because apparently they are making a follow up to this. It's going to be a prequel, I believe, which I'm not a big prequel guy, but I don't know. When I heard that they were going to make a prequel to this, I just was like, you know what? I'd like to revisit that because it's been years since I saw this in the theater in 2009, and I figured that'd be a fun movie night coming up one of these nights. So Orphan, I got that in the mail. It's kind of a brief Blu-ray, DVD, and well, we got a 4K here now. Oh yes, it is Peter Jackson's King Kong on 4K. It's the Ultimate Edition. Comes with the Blu-ray, 4K, and like bonus disc on that's also on Blu-ray. I actually watched this last night. I have a lot of thoughts on this one, man. I got to be honest. Like this, like in 4K, it was okay, but man, some of the effects in this are pretty fucking dated, and like it's too damn long. It's like 3 hours plus. And what I thought was fucking funny was there's an extended cut on here. Like, what the fuck? Like, how would you have an extended cut of a movie that's already 3+ hours long? I guess I just was mind blown by that. I watched the theatrical cut. Okay, I don't have fucking time to watch a three and a half hour movie. Fuck that. Um, I don't know. This was a weird one to revisit, though. I thought Jack Black, he was trying, but it was a weird casting choice. Naomi Watts is beautiful in 4K, but I don't know. I just felt this one took a little bit long to get going. It's good. It's decent, but like definitely on the lower tier of the King Kong films. Like, I like the 76 King Kong with Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges a lot, and I really like the King Kong, the original with Fay Wray from 1933. I really like that King Kong. So I don't know. I just figured because I know Kong versus Godzilla is coming up, and I'm not giant on Godzilla or anything, but I am a big Kong fan. So I decided, why the hell not? I feel like revisiting a Kong film. And it was fun while it lasted, but honestly, kind of average film here for me. I know Shout Factor just announced that they're going to release the 76 King Kong on Blu-ray in the States. So I'm really looking forward to that release. But this was a cool one to revisit in the meantime. Also, this one actually, this is a pretty cool one. I'm sorry, it's filled with fruit. It's filled with fruit punch right now, so I gotta take a sip. Oh man, that's the good stuff. I actually won this son of a bitch in a horror trivia game, and AJ was there. AJ actually participated in this. They're on Instagram and Facebook. Their page is called Drink Beer and Watch Horror, and I came in second place in their Australian horror trivia game. and they sent me this badass Freddy Krueger mug. Yeah, look at that shit, man. A Nightmare on Elm Street tonight at 8 p.m. Thought this was badass. I don't know. And it was a cool price for coming in second, and filled it up with this nice fruit punch tonight for the film. Only the best. Got to be drinking out of horror mugs. So shout out to them for sending me this. It's super cool little gift. I'm a big mug drinker, so I was like, oh man, I'm freaking stoked about this. Let's see. King Nigor says, and I'm sorry if the is a little delayed. I don't know. My Wi-Fi is acting up tonight. I didn't think it'd go long either. Y'all are a good audience. Yeah, for real, man. Like they're always so much fun. Orphan's a weird one. A prequel would be cool. Just gonna suck not having the original actress. I didn't know that. I didn't know she wasn't going to be in it at all. I thought like they would find a way to get her in there somehow, like end it where is she now type of thing. But then again, how can you do that? Like I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know much about the details of the Orphan prequel, but I don't know. I remember this being like fucking wild. Like this one has like a really weird 70s twist towards the end of it where I was just like, holy shit. But I remember even in the theater thought it was a really fun like hour and 30-minute movie, really quick, but a decent little horror flick from the late 2000s that nobody really talks about anymore. But I don't know, I totally felt the urge to revisit this one. And let's see. Hell yeah, dated for its time. We were happy with PJ's Kong. Yeah, for sure. I was happy with it, but I don't know, it's just a little too fucking long. Like fuck me, man. 3 hours plus, and then there's an extended cut. What the fuck did you not tell us in the first cut that could possibly be? I don't even know what they could have extended it with. Like it already felt very fucking extended. Like my thing with Kong '05, it's sort of self-indulgent. It's like he didn't have anybody there to be like, hold on, hit the brakes. Like I get that you love this. I get that you're Peter Jackson. I get that you just made the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but let's hit the brakes a little bit. Let's fucking move this along a little bit. I appreciate what he was trying to do. He was really trying to give everybody character development, including Kong. I mean, he really tried to get the character development out of everybody. But there are some performances like Adrian Brody that falls flat. I don't like him as an actor, to be honest. Jack Black, I think, does a good job, but it's, again, a weird casting. Naomi Watts, I thought was wonderful. I thought she was the best actress in the film. I don't know. I felt this was just a really like self-indulgent movie at times. I had fun with it, the action parts, and I think some of the character development, story stuff like that is well done. But I don't know, man. 3 hours plus, just not for me. I will stick with the 76 and 33 King Kongs because they're much fucking quicker. And to be honest, you don't need that much character development in a King Kong film. You don't. You really don't. That's at the end of the day, I think he may have forgotten a little bit of where this was coming from. Not a bad movie, actually, a damn good movie. But I don't know. I just a little too fucking long, a little too self-indulgent for me. It's funny because I remember as a kid, 15 years ago, and well, 16 calendar years ago, I saw this in the theater and I was like, fuck that. And I remember being like really against this movie. So it's weird that all these years later, I was like, hey, I want to revisit this to see how this is. And it's still a letdown, but it's not as much of a letdown because I've definitely been obviously matured as a person and as a film watcher. So 3 hour, the length didn't bother me as much this time around, but it is a problem. It definitely is a problem. But it wasn't like when I was a kid, just like being like, fuck, like when the hell is King Kong gonna fucking destroy something, man? I don't know. Ringer, dude, that's me. I'm the ringer. I can't wait for the next one. I hope I come in first place this time. If I knew the fucking subject, I don't know, man. Australian horror, though, that's a little tough. Sick mug. Dude, thank you. I appreciate it. The original script, Peter Jackson's King Kong 96 was better. I didn't even know there was an original Peter Jackson King Kong script. But by the way, what's going on, Tiger Junebug Films? Hope all is well with you, good brother. Don't like Adrian Brody. He's the penis. He is the penis. I agree. He's good in that, man, but I don't fucking know, man. It was like around the time they had him in Predators and like they were trying to make him action hero somehow. It just didn't work. Like in this, he's a writer. He's like, I'm gonna go save her and shit. I'm like, dude, you're a writer. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not action hero, dog. Like, you're a writer. I didn't care for him in that movie. He was more miscast than Jack Black, and I know people are to this day think Jack Black shouldn't have been in it, but I thought Jack Black did a better job than him. Bring on Bad Taste and Dead Alive with PJ. Hells yeah. I'm much more in that Peter Jackson era. Like, I like the early stuff the best. Like Meet the Feebles, The Frighteners. That's my Peter Jackson era. And I think the Lord of the Rings movies are good. I think the King Kong movie was fine. Like, I like that early stuff better. I don't know. There's so much more of a style for me in those films. But I will say you can see the same Peter Jackson. Like, it's not like he completely lost himself. It's just I think there are sometimes he got a little too self-indulgent. There was nobody really there to say, "Hey, Peter, why don't you hit the fucking brakes here? Like, this doesn't have to be 3 hours plus." And I don't think he had that guy. Like the proverbial Hanna-Barbera, he didn't have fucking Hannah to tell him to shut the fuck up and just do the shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think he totally needed a partner, somebody to just say, "Hey, cool it, man." Yeah, Peter Jackson in his original script apparently wanted De Niro as Carl Denham. What the fuck? What? Bruce Campbell or George Clooney as Jack Driscoll? What the fuck? And Kate Winslet, that makes sense. Bruce Campbell is Jack Driscoll. What the fuck, dude? That would be, imagine Ash and my boomstick running around. That bitch is still alive. Robbie D is Carl Denham. I can't even see that. I think that would be horrible. I don't see that at all. Granted, Jack Black was a weird casting choice, but I thought it was a good role for Jack Black. Like, here, try something different. And I thought he did a good job with it. I like Jack Black, always have. Oh yeah, man, Brody was all over the place in the early 2000s. Yeah, after he won that Oscar, it's almost like people were just like, "Oh my god, like what can we put him in next?" And I'm just like, keep him out of shit. Like, I don't know, man. Hey, Indiana Jones was a teacher. This is true. This is freaking true. Yeah, the original script had Indiana Jones live action, but dude, yeah, that's fucking strange. I don't know. I really don't know. That casting that I just heard, that's bizarre. I think Naomi Watts and Jack Black do good, but they're not the problem. It's the problem is the film itself. It's really not any of the performances aside from Adrian Brody. It's just, I don't know. It takes them like 50 minutes to get to the island. I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, let's get the show on the road a little bit. I get the development. I want it, but Jesus Christ, man. Like, it needed a little bit of pep in its step. You need to hit the gas pedal a little bit and then hit the brakes on some other shit that you wanted to explore for no fucking reason. That's just my 2 cents. But I guess that stuff's neither here nor there. I guess that was my little rant on King Kong '05. But I watched the trailer to this movie already. Of course, Return of the Living Dead 3. I've got the main menu screen up here. I'm hipster. Honestly, I'm not, but I have the old school DVD from Lionsgate. Yes, this is not one I've upgraded yet, the Vestron Blue. I fucking should, because I really, really love this movie. It's probably my second favorite Return of the Living Dead film. Easily my favorite sequel of the bunch. Of course, I'm repping the Return of the Living Dead hoodie tonight, courtesy of T-Shirt Joe. God bless you, good brother. And I said, you know what? What better movie to talk about on Valentine's Day, aside from My Blaze Valentine, on the 40th anniversary of its release, than Return of the Living Dead 3. I think this is a pretty underrated, like, Valentine's Day horror movie, because this is really a romantic horror movie. It's like a Romeo and Juliet with zombies, if you will. And I've just always been a huge fan of this, love the performances in it, and I figured, why the hell not give this a watch? So I have got the LG Blu-ray 4K player fired up, got the remote. I'm going to press play in 3, 2, 1. Just hit play. We are Gucci Poochie. You're watching the uncut version. I'm watching the Lionsgate DVD version, which runs at approximately 97 minutes. So I don't know if... Did Vestron release this uncut? I didn't even know this was cut, to be honest. Trimark Pictures presents. Oh, yeah, we're into it already. We've got it a little too fucking loud. Brian Yuzna. I would say Yuzna. I think it's pronounced Yusna. Turn of Living Dead. Trace. Oh, yeah. No, remember, he's only a teacher part-time. Big facts. J. Trevor Edmond. I was watching on the More Brains documentary, and they do like these little excerpts of part 2 and part 3, like 20, 30-minute mini documentaries on these films. And watching a documentary for this one was so interesting, considering I fucking despise part 2. Like, I don't know if I've ever really gone into too much. I think I did a Return of Living Dead retrospective on this channel, and I discussed my hatred for part two. I really don't like part two, which was directed by Ken Wiederhorn or Jim Wiederhorn. I forget his damn name, but Mr. Wiederhorn, he had done like Meatball sequels. He had done Shockwaves in the 70s, which I didn't mind. But he was a self-admitted horror fan hater. He was not a big horror person. And I just thought he was a poor choice as a director for that film. And like hearing all the shit that went into part two and like how he humiliated Don Calfa, who he brought back to audition and he fucking didn't take him back, even though he hired Tom Matthews and James Karen back playing the same roles. Don Calfa, he had him come in, audition, and then he said, "You didn't get the part." He was supposed to be playing himself. Like, what the it's just so fucking stupid, man. I don't know. It's horrible. I hate that movie. It's a G-rated zombie film. I'm not a big fan of Return of the Living Dead Part 2 at all. Never have been, never will be. I thought this was a far better sequel. And I think even they said in the documentary, like begrudgingly, they were like, I think Part 3 is definitely a better step up. Hello, everybody. Oh, Aiden's in the house. What's going on, good brother? Hope you're doing well tonight. This film is a worthy sequel to the first film. Totally agree with you, man. And I figured Valentine's Day week, what better week to watch it? The only thing I like about part two is the soundtrack. Yeah, part two soundtrack was cut on the original DVD, I believe. The only way you could hear the actual soundtrack was if you played like the Mexican dubbed version. So if you listen to the Spanish version with English subtitles, then you could get the original soundtrack. Weird. I believe though, since then, Shout Factory released it on Blue. And that's why now that you can watch it in English with the proper soundtrack. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it was rights issues or what, but I actually saw the second film on 35 millimeter before coronavirus happened. Anyways, it was part one and part two on 35 back to back. A lot of fun to watch those. But all the music was still in it and it was 35 millimeter. I thought that was interesting to watch the original kind of cut of it, but still, yeah, I agree, Nigor. It's a lame fucking movie. I completely agree. Hand Jedi Wave, you will make King Nigor a moderator. Dude, I don't even know how to fucking do that. Like, yeah, it only gives me the put user in timeout or block somebody. I have no idea, Ty. I'm behind on the times with these things. The director of that second film hates horror. What a poor choice. And he humiliated some of the cast. What a poor film, piss poor horror, G-rated horror film. Yeah, it really is. Let's have a zombie film with no fucking gore. Like, what? I hate Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Like, I know there are some people that grew up with it and adore it. I just don't. Man, not a fan at all. You got a problem with Mexicans? Hell no, I love Mexican people. I fucking I was just saying that originally the only way to listen to the music, the soundtrack Return of the Living Dead Part 2, was to watch the Spanish subtitle version on the DVD. I don't know why that is. Like, I don't know why they were like, take the soundtrack out of the English version, but leave it in the Spanish. Like, I just never got that. Like, for rights issues, like, you'd think it would just be removed from the DVD entirely. But no, they didn't do that. I don't know. Was afraid Friday the 13th lawsuit just gets bigger and better and better. Apparently, one of the main judges died, and that's why we've had a delay. Holy moly. I didn't know that. That sucks. LI time, June Bugs. I've given up on the wrench. On the wrench. Well, I've heard an update on Friday the 13th lawsuit. Apparently, one of the judges died, and that's been, oh man, that's crazy. Darth Gore. Yes. We're in the laboratory now, and now the trioxin is going to be put into this zombie creature and he's going to come to life. It's going to be badass. I believe Brian Peck, who's in part one and part two, is also one of the scientists in this early scene. Granted, I was looking at the chat, so I might have missed them. But talking about this movie and where I think they went right with it is, first and foremost, they took the trioxin idea that the original Return of the Living Dead does, and number one, they made it more of a serious film. This is definitely more of a serious horror movie. Like, I would say this is probably the most serious of the five Return of the Living Dead movies. And that's what I like about it. Number one, you changed the tone a little bit, make it feel a little bit different. Number two, you did different stuff with the trioxin. Instead of a zombie takeover invasion, this is just really mainly affecting these two and then whoever they come encounter with. I like that because you're scaling it down. Like most sequels, it always, oh, let's tone it up. This is one of those sequels that really tones it down. And that's what I kind of enjoy about this one. And most of it is these two, their chemistry. And I think they do an excellent job together. I buy them a lot as boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing. And what will he do to keep his love alive and stuff like that. I like the storytelling in this one, and it has a nice heart to it for sure. Darth Gore is correct. Okay, Mr. Darth Nee Gore. Yeah, he's in a hazmat suit, I believe. Yes, yes. Force death, death to Grande. Busting in. You know what's crazy about this too is Brian Usna. He made Society in '89, which I really like. I think that's a really good horror movie. Then he turns around and makes Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, which I think is like one of my least favorite movies of all time. I fucking hate that movie. It's a piece of shit, pretentious, feminist, but badly done feminist film. And like, it's really fucking poorly done. And then he waited 3 years and makes this, which is like my favorite Return of the Living Dead sequel. Like it's very strange. His career is full of hits and misses. Then of course he made like Dentist 2 with Corbin Burnson, which is another, oh my God, just laughably bad movie. I know he also made Faust, which was a piece of shit movie. I don't know. Brian Usna is really. I think he also made Bride of Reanimator and Beyond Reanimator. Not films I'm big on. Bride of Reanimator, I guess, is okay. It's like a more lower budget version of the first one, but I would say this is Brian Usna's best film, like by a long shot too, man. Because the rest of his filmography, especially before this, man, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. What the fuck, man? How the hell did he? We have Aiden saying that too. Brian Usna's direction is good. It's much better than Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. Yeah, no, I destroy it too. I absolutely hate Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, man. I think that's a total piece of shit movie. It's incredible how he made one of the worst franchise sequels, and then one of the best in just a matter of 3 years. Really weird. But yeah, he was the sequel guy when you come to think about it. Dentist 2, Return of the Living Dead 3, Beyond Reanimator, Bride of Reanimator, so that's Reanimator 2 and 3, Silent Deadly Night 4. That's crazy. He made a ton of sequels in his career. I don't think he directed too many films, but this one totally stands out as his best for me. Well, if he's Darth Gore, then I'm Emperor Junebug Force Lightning. Ooh, I like it. Ty Junebug, the Emperor himself. So be it, Jedi. What if Halloween 3 was terrible? You get Silent Night 4. Yes, let's change everything, but forget to include Christmas in it. That's like if Halloween 3 forgot to have Halloween as the main theme of it. That's the biggest problem with Silent Night 4. There's nothing Christmas related. Even Silent Night 3, at least it's around Christmas time. It's not a good film, but at least it's in the ballpark. Silent Night 4 is out of the ballpark, down the road, in the sewer. It's just a piece of shit overall. I hate that movie. The Dentist is fire. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. See, this is why I can't make him a moderator, even if I knew how. No, I'm just kidding. Bride of Reanimator fire. Killing you tonight. No, I'm not killing you tonight, dude. This Dentist is a piece of shit. All right. Aside from poor Ken Foree, who I hope they gave him a big paycheck. Man, the Dentist. I don't know. I know my good buddy Ryan. He's a big fan of the Dentist too, but not a fan of Corbin Burnson and the Dentist. That's one of those movies where I watch. I'm just like, what the hell, man? The zombie has been brought to life now by the trioxin. Apparently, I was reading that this guy was a homeless man. This actor, the initial zombie in this, he was a fucking homeless man, and they were like, "How would you like to be in our film as a zombie?" Because he was so fucking emaciated looking, and he was like, "Sure, we'll give you a paycheck, all that good stuff." About 2 weeks before filming, he demanded that they pick him up in a limo for his scenes, and they have like female escorts in the fucking limo waiting for him. So this fucking guy was quite a character. I think that's just fucking funny, man. Like that shit doesn't happen anymore. Like you don't get crazy characters like this. But let's find a random homeless guy, have him be a zombie in the beginning of our film just because he's skinny and emaciated looking. And then, of course, he's just like, I want all the hookers and limousines and free food you can give me. Like, Just the weird people you come across when you're making a low budget film. I love stories like that. They've shot him in the head though, and like they think that it's stopped the trioxin effect. It doesn't stop shit. If only it was that simple. Now Melinda Clarke, of course, is turned on by all this. She's making out with my man Penny. She's like, "Oh my god, they turned him into zombie and killed him. Let's make out." Like Melinda Clarke's awesome in this shit, man. She gives a fun ass performance, and she was cool enough to do an interview, which you can find on YouTube. It's called "Living Dead Girl," which is perfect. I mean, that if there's a song that like perfectly describes this movie, it's "Living Dead Girl." I mean, who is this creature with an insatiable lust for the dead? Living Dead Girl, the best, only the best, man. I like her hair in this too. Like it's a step up from the generic. Like as much as I like blonde, I definitely like that they did her hair like redhead. I like that better. Just a different dynamic. How many fucking horror movies do we have the blonde protagonist running around? I don't know. I just little differences like that. And she's like one of those actresses too that I'm always a big protester of like having actors in your film that stand out, actors and actresses that stand out. She really stands out. Like she has beautiful green eyes. To this day, is a good looking woman. And she really stands out. She's a perfect casting choice for this role. Like a unique looking woman. And I think that's what makes the character, especially when she starts to turn. You feel sympathy there just because, she was so beautiful and likable before this. Um, Somebody just needs to give Victor Miller and Sean Sleazeball Cunningham a check for the equal amount, saying that depending on how successful Part 13 is, you get 10% of the film's gross. I don't even know if they'd want to do that, though. You think they would want to give 10% to both of them? So now you're giving 1/5 of the profits to two people? I don't know, man. I don't even know if they could agree on that. I think it's just a riot, like how fucking out of hand that whole thing has gotten. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Sean S. Cunningham. I like some of Sean S. Cunningham's films. I always like Deep Star Six, The New Kids. He also made the worst Bad News Bear ripoff of all time called Here Comes the Tigers. It is the shittiest kids sports movie ever. Like it is the worst I've ever seen. Um, but with that being said, I don't know. I think Sean S. Cunningham is the guy that I would give the rights to, but I don't know. It just seems like both of them they're gonna fight like little kids and stop us from getting Friday the 13th movies. But honestly, man, we live in a world with so many fucking reboots. I'm not dying for a Friday the 13th reboot right now. I'm not, man. I'm chilling like a villain. Great practical gore in this scene, by the way. The zombie is reemerged, and oh man, look at this. Even in standard def, there's fucking fantastic gore effects in this film. I think it's almost the star of the flick. I would not be surprised if Brian Usna got high when writing the script for Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and grabbed the shitty camera shot film guerrilla style. Believe it or not, he had wrote that like before part 3. That was originally going to be part 3, and somebody had a live pictures or whatever the fuck studio produced Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. They were like, no, this sucks. And we'd rather have Bill Moseley run around with a bucket on his head for 90 minutes, which is shitty too, and chasing this blind woman who's the shittiest actress ever than this. And somehow they were right. It was better than what Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 ended up being. Even though Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 probably had better effects, but still, not even in the ballpark. Dude, that homeless dude's my fucking hero. The only way I'm coming to your set is if I get picked up by a limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun with a couple of hotties in the seat with a fucking pizza and Mountain Dew for me. That's the only way I'm doing it. What are we drinking, dude? I don't drink alcohol, so I'm drinking some nice berry punch tonight. I don't know. Yeah, I'll end up spilling it everywhere, but I promise there's berry punch in here, Minute Maid style. I'm a big sugar water person. I don't know if everybody likes vitamin water. That's like my big cheat drink. If I'm away from soda, I'm a huge fucking vitamin water person. Also, I love juice, grape juice, apple juice. Not a big OJ guy. I don't know. There's something about I like orange soda way better, but berry punch, fruit punch, it can't go wrong with anything Minute Maid does because it's like 0.9% juice and like 99.1% sugar. I mean, that's just the way to my heart, man. Mm. See, it's like pure sugar. Most people would be fucking. It's like a melted Jolly Rancher, but cold. I don't know. It's delicious. What happens when Miller and Cunningham die? I don't know. Would their states battle over it? Would their families battle over it? I don't know. Asking for a special friend if they both had an accident. Can we have more Jason? Oh my goodness! Wow. Need gore. Getting dark over here. Darth Gore, if you will, man. Getting evil in the chat. Well, when I cast any female in my movies, I do try and find people who have a very unique look to them. I really try to go for that old school Hollywood method of finding female talent. I completely agree with that, man. And like a lot of people that they don't get that nowadays. Like a lot of people, it's just like, all right, how do we get this person, that person? Like I try to look for the most unique fucking person because it can add so much more to your film. Because if they just got a regular, blonde hair, blue eyed, and there's nothing. Hey, I like blonde hair, blue eyed, beautiful women. I mean, hey, Naomi Watts is beautiful in this, but I think Melinda Clarke was the perfect actress for them to get because of the unique look, beautiful eyes, different hair color, just like more of a gothic aura to her character. I really like her character. I think she's holy crap boobies. All right, Melinda. I like Melinda Clarke's boobies as I'm talking about Melinda Clarke, but I don't know. I just thought it was really, really good casting. That's something that there are certain slasher films that miss that, and any kind of film that really miss that standout cast. Where you go, holy shit, that's somebody who stands out. Like for me, the Sleepaway Camp sequels have that. Like everybody stands out for one reason or another, good, bad, or ugly. This movie, I think they really got these two right. They had a good chemistry with each other. It felt like they knew each other for a while. I believe I didn't. I forget this entire story because I watched part of the documentary. Boobies is such a top tier word, dude. Holy moly! And those are some top tier boobies, I gotta say. Even in standard definition, those are some top tier boobies, if you will. They're about to become zombie boobies with fucking nipple piercings, but I digress. Um, I think the lead actor, I always forget his damn name, even though I said it at the beginning. J. Trevor Edmond. He was offered the role and he was like out of state and they were going to start filming at midnight and he drove like cross country just to get there as they started filming or something like that. I'm the story's a little bit, take my word, like some of it I'm probably missing, but I believe that was the case where they called him and said, hey, you have till this time to get to the set, and he drove all the way to get there in time, and they started filming the minute he got out of the car, something like that. Like again, another thing I love that about this. You'd never know because he gives a really, really good performance and they click immediately. It doesn't feel like he just got out of his car and they started filming, even though that kind of was the case. Just, I don't know. I kind of always liked little film facts like that. And this one, believe it or not, has a lot of that. I think the Vestron Blu-ray has a ton of features that you could find online. Here they have this thing with like Kent McCord playing his father, and he's just angry about the whole thing, and he doesn't want him to see her anymore and shit like that. We have to move, and I guess it's necessary just to have it in there just for him to run away and for the whole movie to kind of get the ball rolling. But I don't know. I felt this was kind of unnecessary, like kind of filler stuff right here. But it is what it is. Start unpacking the garage. Dramatically drinks his alcohol. Like that dude's got a Porsche. Fuck, man. Why does every fucking person have a nice car? I'm jealous of people, man. Oh shit, he's laying down a law. I ain't going, Dad. Ain't fucking happening, brother. Dude, you know what? Honestly, I would not fucking leave Melinda Clarke for anything either. Like, never, ever, ever. If they died, then the lawsuit would go to the kids, and 10% was more of a counter offer, a starting offer for them to both agree to get that check for the percentage of the film's gross. Yeah, no, I don't even mean to shoot anything down. I don't know if that would ever happen. Maybe you give each 5%, so a 10% total. But if you give each 10%, man, I don't know. I can't see that ever getting greenlit. Even 5%, I could see them throwing a tantrum over. I don't know. It's a shame. It's really a shame, the whole thing. But I've kind of given up on all these fucking reboots. Like, I kind of want to see new shit. Alcohol, the best prop. Yeah, it's the best, like, dramatic, like, pack out the garage. It's like, I don't know, just fucking silly. I don't blame Kurt. I would stay with Melinda Clarke as well. Yeah, I mean, who the hell wouldn't, man? She was top shelf woman at this time. I believe this was only her second film too, which is crazy because she feels very much more like veteran than this. Like, she doesn't seem green at all. Like, you don't get any of that like rust in this film from her. Seems really comfortable and, you know. She said actually that's that last scene I was watching the interview with her where she said she was very fucking uncomfortable filming that sex scene because it was one of her first like big scenes like that ever. And I can't imagine how awkward that must be. Like, you're in a room with an entire cast and crew, and like you have to be naked, man. Like, that's, man, much respect to her because that shit can't be easy. Well, like, there's one girl who I found who I really want to make a star. She's 5'10", brown hair, and she has one eye that is brown and one eye that is blue. And with the proper lighting, I could pop. Dude, yeah, something unique like that. I forget what they call people. Oh, Melinda Clarke just took a crazy bump off the motorcycle. Big old accident. Bring out the trioxin for this bitch. We need to get our zombie film underway here. Um, but no, I forget what they call people. I know Max Scherzer. He's a big baseball pitcher. He has the same thing with one eye is blue, one eye is brown. I forget what they call that, but I think that, again, another unique, like, we haven't seen that many times before. That's the thing. Like, it's just whatever you could do to make it fresh or new, I think makes it so much more exciting. Her name is Sarah McDaniels. Okay, cool, cool. Have you ever watched The Disaster Artist? Dude, I love The Disaster Artist. That is one of my favorite comedies of the last like 5 years or so. James Franco is fantastic in it. And like, I've always loved the whole story of The Room and Tommy Wiseau. And I think it was great for him to get, guys like Seth Rogen in there. And I love the funniest, like, the scene in that movie that made me laugh the most, is probably most people would not laugh at, but there's a scene where he walks into the store and the lady goes, "Oh, Tommy, I didn't recognize you." And Seth Rogen's just sitting there in the theater, goes, "Who the fuck doesn't recognize that guy?" I fucking laughed for like 10 straight minutes. Like, I watched it on Prime a few years ago, and I fucking was bawling crying by myself. Like, just, oh my God, dude. It tickled me, man. It made me crack up laughing. Just thought that was absolutely great. Love the entire cast: Dave Franco, James Franco. Thought it was an excellent little film. Love The Disaster Artist, one of my faves. I also really like This Is the End, which James Franco was also in, Seth Rogen. I love them together. They're a great comedy team. Pineapple Express, of course. The Interview. Love those two together. I think it's just magic almost every time. We call those people monsters. Oh my gosh. Savagery. I mean, I miss the extra exotic sort of look in films now for actors. Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. Like, actors now, they're either too polished or like they're just going for like overkill diversity. Like, we have to have one person this, one person that. Like, it's too much. Like, just no. Wait, why don't we try to get distinct looking people? People that stand out. Like, that's my huge thing with the original Hills Have Eyes as opposed to that remake. They got actual people with deformities. Michael Berryman actually has deformities. There's nothing scarier than that. And like, in that remake, they just slapped a bunch of prosthetics, and granted, some of them look decent, some of them don't. But like, to me, there's nothing better than the real thing. Like, just go for it. And like, the number one thing I think everybody remembers from the original Hills Have Eyes is the poster of Michael Berryman right at the front and center of the classic tagline: "A nice American family that didn't want to kill ... but they didn't want to die." Just one of that's probably my favorite horror tagline of all time. The Hills Have Eyes, 1977, the original. And I don't know, man. To me, that's the thing that stands out. With that remake, don't really have as much things that stand out because these are normal people in prosthetics. That's Michael Barely Smith with a bunch of shit to make him look like fucking Sloth from the Goonies. It's just, there's not the same type of oomph there for me. Tell Me Why Zoe is a legend. You're Not Alone. I love that scene as well. Oh my god, dude, The Room and Troll 2 are like my favorite bad movies, like great bad movies. Those two are right up there, man. Just absolutely adore them. I don't know. Just I think they're just so much damn fun. Pineapple Express is one of my favorite comedies of all time, man. Red's probably my favorite character. I just love that movie, man. Fucking I'm gonna bust a move out of this. I draw over for dinner, fish tacos. I'm gonna die now, probably. I love that whole movie. I'm up in here trying to get a motherfucking scholarship. Pineapple Express is absolute gold. It's funny, man. For someone I've never smoked pot in my life or really been encountered it much in my life, like I've never been around pot smoking. I love stoner comedies. Like I love them. Like I love Friday. I love Pineapple Express. Like I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I love stoner comedies. Like they just always find a way to make me laugh. Even though it's just I find it so weird. It's just like something you'd never think I would like, but I end up usually liking a lot of them. Oh no. Okay, I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Can somebody let me know? I don't know. Somebody's playing with Ty. Oh shit, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think I'm back. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Somebody can let me know. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, nice, almost buck teeth. We don't have actors like that anymore. No, we do not. And that had a really weird voice. You done the Pots, Grande? No, I've never done the Pots, brother. But I do love stoner comedies because I'm a nerd like that. Mannequin challenge. Yeah, Lou, I win the mannequin challenge. Yeah, no, I don't know. Sometimes my Wi-Fi craps out. Zip zips. Rest in peace, Grande's graveyard. No, rest in pepperonis. I think I'm here. I don't know. This is all your fault. I'm back. Oh, and he's back. He's the man behind the glasses, and he's out of control. He's back. I'm back. I'm back and better than ever. Face facts, because your opinions don't matter. We are live. Too sweet. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck happened. Look, popcorn. Or is that what the fuck is that? It's supposed to be ice cream? I can't even tell what the fuck that is. It looks like a fucking Frosty. Oh, zombies coming after them. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong Emperor spell. Oh, see, it happens, good brother. It happens. You're still better than Krylo Ren. It's funny, like this practical zombie effect in this with the like half of his face is falling off. It's good. It's a nice practical effect, but it definitely looks like a Halloween costume you could buy. Like it's not horrible, but it's kind of funny. He's resurrected his girlfriend, Julie. It's popcorn. So I thought it was popcorn. For a minute, I looked at it and I'm like, yo, is this an ice cream cone, sort of? Like, I don't know. I thought it was pop. Don't so much hate me, baby. Don't do it. Don't do it, babe. I do love the popcorn. You've done the popcorn? Whoa, big zombie attack. Oh, shit. Melinda, get your big titties out of there. Oh, shit. Oh, lead male protagonist to the rescue. Oh, nice punch sound effect there. I like that one. Ah. Dude, yeah, this totally looks like something you could fucking buy at the store, though. Oh, but when it detaches, that's some good-ass gore. Oh, no. Generic security guard number 2. What is that noise? I'm here for a body count. If Kylo Ren was my apprentice, he would get a 4th spanking with a lightsaber whip. Dude, yeah, just kill that son of a bitch. Kylo Ren is the shittiest Star Wars character of all time. Dude, ever done the corn pops? Dude, I've done the corn pops. Kellogg corn pops, motherfucker. Oh! Oh! My man's getting bit in the head. Oh, man. You know what's crazy about this one, too? And even the first time I watched it, I was amazed. And I thought it was the right thing to do. It was, at the end of this film, it's one of very few movies that says directed by. Like, that's not the first credit you see. It's not the actors. The first credit you see is actually the special makeup effects guys. And I believe this had Steve Johnson's blessing. He helped work on the film. I don't think he was helming special makeup effects, but he was there. Like they made it a point that he had his blessing, and they really are the star of this film. Like, because to be honest, you don't have a giant budget with this, but what you do have is an original story. Well, I guess sort of an original story for a zombie film. The whole what will I do to keep my girlfriend alive and well and with me, even though she's a zombie now. I like that love story. Like, can love bring them two together? And of course, if you know how this ends, you know that it even though it's sad, it ends sort of weirdly on a good note. Like, at least they went together, type of thing. And the other aspect is, it's like, hey, we don't have too much money, so the special effects, they've got to kick ass. And man, this was right around the time, like just before CGI really hit it big. Like, I mean, you had stuff like Jurassic Park also come out in 93, which that has some good CGI in it. But of course, that blended a lot of the great practical effects as well too. But this movie is entirely practical, and I think it really helps this particular movie, because some of the CGI you'd go on to see in zombie films years later. I mean, in films like Survival of the Dead, and films like oh my gosh, the Return of the Living Dead sequels, Return of the Living Dead, Rave to the Grave, and Necropolis, if you will. Like, there's a lot of those movies that just the CGI really hurts them. But this movie, I think it's elevated by its practicality. That's what I really like about this movie. It's helps this movie take one bigger step than any of the other Return of the Living Dead movies post Part 1 for sure. Let's see, forget force choke, force neck break for him. Hell yeah, why not? The Soulless Trench Coat's in the Heezy. Trenchy, what's going on, my friend? How are you? I hope all is well tonight. Hey, June, Corey, AJ, Aiden, all the people in the Heezy chilling like villains. Oh, okay. So here we're introduced to some of my favorite antagonists in zombie film history here. We get these, like, store clerk goons here. And I don't know, I just love them. They're super over the top. Like, they're playing this arcade game, causing a ruckus. I love how they're all dressed too. It's just mad funny. And of course, Melinda Clarke, she's trying to get something to eat right now. I love how 90s this fucking grocery store is too. Like, it's so, oh my God, it's so 90s. Like, all the fucking shit. Melinda Clarke's just like, where the fuck is the yodels? Yodels will not quench the thirst for blood. I have to just come out and say this. Melinda Clarke's about to learn this, though. I believe they're playing, what are they playing? Street Fighter? Street Fighter 3. They're playing Street Fighter 3 on the arcade. That's pretty cool. Oh no, it's no good. She's spitting up the fucking yodels. Or is that snowballs? She's spitting up snowballs. Oh God, that's horrible. That's what she is. I swear. She's spitting up snowballs. This is a deleted scene from Clark's, man. Is soulless dish cloth. Fun fact: Brian Usna wanted to do a fourth Living Dead film, but the studio rejected due to the reception. Did this get a poor reception? I did not realize that this was poorly received. I know this was straight to video, but I didn't know that it was like hated upon its release. I actually really like this movie. Good, thanks. I'm good. Still haven't seen this one. Only seen the OG Return of the Living Dead. Well, to be honest, good brother, that is the one to see, if I got to be honest with you. But if you're going to watch any other one, I'd watch this one because I love this one. This one's really super underrated to me. Survival of the Dead is a guilty pleasure. I love how it's a Western zombie flick. Yeah, I don't hate Survival of the Dead at all. Like, I know a lot of people do, but like, I just think the CGI in that film, it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's just eye-openingly bad at times. Like the scene where the zombie gets the flare in the mouth and like Al Van Sprang kicks him off the. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, oh no, he's pulled a gun on the goons. Oh my God, this is so awkward. The struggle. Oh, store clerk got shot right in the gut. Rest in pepperonis. Yep, ROTLD 3 was received poorly because people are dumb. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Oh, shot in the stomach, then kicked in the stomach. What a heel. Felipe, come on. Oh, whoa, big bite. Oh. Once again, really good practicality. Oh, and a bitch slap to boot. She bites one of the antagonists, and then, of course, he bitch slaps her, but he's now infected too and doomed to die. Love that scene. That's a really, really fun ass scene. The flare gun kill is hilarious. Yeah. Not as hilarious as zombie riding horseback, though. That's a riot, man. I'll have to check it out for sure. Yeah, totally, man. It's a totally good watch. That's a big first bite, dude. For real, for real. You know it. My girl, she was spitting up snowballs and then taking a bite out of fucking crazy hoodlums that are robbing convenience stores after playing Street Fighter. Oh, this poor store clerk. He got shot in the fucking stomach, kicked in the fucking stomach, and they left him there to die. He's like, can you drive me to the hospital? Please drive this motherfucker to the hospital. Oh, here's the popo. He's like, I'll go with them. I'll go with the cops. Let me out. And now the cops think that they kidnapped this poor man. Uh-oh. And the chase is on. You know what's funny? Even in standard def, though, this movie really doesn't look too bad. Like, it doesn't look too dated at all, which is weird because the film is got to be pushing, let's see, almost 30 years, 28 years of this movie. That's crazy, man. This is almost 30-year-old movie, and it still really looks good to me. And this is where Melinda Clarke starts piercing herself because in the other films they tell you the reason that zombies eat brains is because it makes the pain go away. So in this, she starts like piercing herself and stuff like that to try to get the pain to go away. So it will stop her from eating people. Another element that I really liked. Where was that in Return of the Living Dead 2? Where was that in the other Return of the Living Dead films? Again, something different. Like, hey, I remember who I was, and some of the people in the original Return of the Living Dead do remember who they were. But in this, she's like, hey, I don't want to eat my boyfriend. I don't want to eat all these innocent people. Let me start literally causing pain so I don't feel the urge of hunger. Just something to get me off the mind of hunger. That's really good psychology. That's really not prevalent in most other zombie films. Well, the store clerk has died, and Melinda Clarke, well, she's hungry. He's going to get eaten. Oh, man. Okay, she's starting to eat his ass. We forget that 90s cinematography wasn't all that bad. No, it wasn't. No, it really wasn't. And like considering that this movie had a budget of like, I think maybe $1 million, maybe less. It's definitely not a big budgeted film, but it looks decent enough for sure. Like, it doesn't look too low budget to me. What's that noise? Julie! She's eating the store clerk, you stupid idiot. Oh, she's eating a nice handful of his brains. She ain't going to spit that out, let me tell you. What are you doing, Julie? I'm eating this motherfucker's brains. Do you mind? And another thing that's interesting about this is they keep applying prosthetic effects on her. And she was saying this in the interview where it was after a few shots, it was a piece here, a piece there. By the end of the shoot, it's like 100 different pieces that they had on her, like the piercings and the, all this stuff. Of course, the classic design here on the cover, like all these like little spikes and stuff. The first day they did it, it took her 8 hours in makeup just to put it on. And then they went and filmed for 12 hours and then literally took them 5 hours to get it off. So let's do the math, 25 straight hours that bitch was up. And on her way home, she admitted she almost fell asleep behind the wheel. See, that's why you have to have like a set plan. I know I love prosthetic effects, and I'm thrilled that they didn't CGI her stuff, like that would have just been lazy. But there's also limits to that. Like, you have to find a way to get that shit on faster or use less. Like, if you have to use less, you have to use less. The woman's sleep and health and sanity is far much more important. Oh, the store clerk is now alive, and he just stabbed oh man, the cop just got stabbed in the eye with a lead pipe in the library. Not by Colonel Mustard, though, by Colonel Store Clerk person. Oh, man. See, great effect, too, with this store clerk where he's missing the entire top of his head. It's just brains and gore. It's just really, really good looking effect. You can see it's an animatronic, but oh, man, it's so well fucking done. And I like, see, I will give credit where it's due to Mr. Brian Usna. It's not overshown. It's a flash, a flash, a flash, a wide shot. Like, don't overexpose too much. Because, yes, I can tell it's an animatronic, but it looks damn good. And it's not overexposed. If you keep showing me something and I know it's going to be fake, after a while, the effect isn't as effective. No pun intended there. But it's the truth. This movie is definitely better than Fuck Warm Bodies. Yeah, I've seen the reveal scene of Zombie Chick. She looks so badass. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, she not only looks badass, but there's like some kind of a sex appeal there too, which is interesting because, like, I know there's that with Linnea Quigley in the original, but that's just more because she has a nice body. Like, that design for her is basically just like a gross blue zombie face and then her naked body. So that's not really an effect. This is like they make her look like this crazy hot goth zombie, and like they just hit it out of the park. I just think there were limits. Like, you should not have made that woman film for 12 hours after taking 8 to put it on and then another 5 to take it off. That's absurd. You had her up for 25 straight hours, and who knows how long she was up before she started having the makeup put on her. I don't know. I just think there are some times where you've got to have a little bit of fucking respect and a little bit more care for your actors. I get it, but I guess at the same time too, this was a different time, right? Like, if that happened now, she might sue. Her agent might sue. She might leave the film. Like, you don't know. Like, this was a far different time where she was just like, hey, I'm an up and comer. I've got to toughen this up. I got to suck it up, and I got to go out there and I got to go perform again tomorrow. And there's a part of that I like. But I definitely think there's a happy medium there that you can reach. I don't know. I don't know if it really was reached with this. I think effectively the effects really work. I just think that, I don't know, you could have given a little bit more of a shit about her safety and well-being. She's now sticking a sharp coil into her arm. Another prosthetic effect here to make the pain go away. If I was uncertain somebody was up for 25 hours and I heard they were driving home, that is when you just buy a big couch for a sat with blankets and say, sleep on this. Yes, exactly, Ty. Like, that's why I think you have to be thinking about the person's safety. You can't just go, oh, okay, have a good night. Like, we're all tired too. We're going to go home. No, You go to bat. You drive her home. If you've been up for 25 hours, then you drive her home. You put her through all that bullshit. You've got to go through that bullshit. To me, you have to put the care there. But I agree with that. That's a nice alternative. Again, stay here, sleep safe. We'll let you sleep late tomorrow. We'll film some other shit. Like you have to, there has to be some kind of leeway. And it just isn't here with this movie. But again, different time. Really, it really is. You know, a lot of people don't realize that, but it really was a different animal of a time. You know, why didn't someone drive her home? Dude, I have no idea. I don't know why somebody didn't drive her home. Maybe it's just if I was there, I would have volunteered to drive Melinda Clarke home. Okay, I don't care where that bitch lives. I'll drive her home anywhere. Okay, I don't care if I've been up for 50 hours. I'll drive Melinda home. She'll get home safe and sound. Holy crap, Adam Wingard is where. What the fuck? What? Fuck that. Oh my god, fucking rotisserie chicken Blair Witch Man is gonna remake fucking Face Off. So retarded, man. Excuse me, I'm sorry. No disrespect. I don't mean to be on PC, but oh my god, man, it's just so bad. It's just so bad. Like stop. Like why is he making Congress Godzilla too? He stinks. He hasn't made a good movie ever. Like oh god, it's just so bad. That's some bad news, Aiden. That's some very bad news. It's a shame. So now Julie is actually saying, hey, why don't I kill myself? And she's at the edge of a bridge. And of course, don't jump. Really, really good stuff. Wrestlers, actors, all expendable back then. See, here's a question from you, Mr. Zitro. Why do you think that has changed now? Anybody can answer this. I mean, this is open for the whole floor. Why, like, number one, when do you think that changed? Like, when do you think that dynamic changed? And two, why? Like, in most cases, I do think it's for the best. Like, I do think somebody should have drove Melinda Clarke home. Totally. I think that would be for the best. But I think in some other cases, it does, like wrestlers in particular. I don't think they pay enough dues. And I think that there's a part of somebody's desperateness that really makes them way more interesting. Like Mick Foley now, I don't think it would be as interesting of a story because back then, people that looked like him didn't make it in the wrestling business. That guy had to take every single bump. He had to make every single car ride. He had to pay every due that there was to pay and then some in order to make it in the business. Now, you don't see shit like that. It's just the bodybuilders. There's always the hype. They're always polished. Like, it's just not the same thing to me. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's the part of me that likes it, part of me that doesn't like it. That's just my own 2 cents. Where were we? Ty Junebug. I would probably direct my crew if somebody is up for that long period of time. Either you drive her home or she sleeps in on the big couch and buy her dinner. Dude, see, you're a good director. You are a good director, man. One dose, not remake Face Off. Oh, God. No. She would arrive home safely but pregnant. Oh my God, AJ! Jesus Christ, that bitch is up 25 hours. She deserves a break, all right? Because when you ride Space Mountain, woo, you got to be up all night. The Nature Boy, Ben Grimm's in the Heezy. What's going on, good brother? Melinda Clarke, always the mom on the OC. I didn't fucking know that. I never watched the OC. Zombie Baddie second. Hey man, hot mom on the OC. Zombie Baddie. I mean, I think she's batting 1,000. What do you think? Dynamics changed once Twitter took off and folks could express opinions, share stories to larger audiences. Yeah, I totally see a part of that. I think there's just a point where along the line where somebody said, there's somebody called bullshit on something that probably was, but I think now it's like, it's almost done too much. Like, we're going to call bullshit on everything now. Like, come on. Like, again, it's almost too radical the other way now, where like they're so fucking coddled that you got to take the diapers off. You got to let the motherfucker go a little bit. Like, I get it. You want to protect people, but you can't coddle them too much. It's just, I think back then and now we could find a happy medium. It's just where and when. That's the biggest question. I still think most wrestlers are still expendable. They're just not given enough credit. Sure, some of them aren't. Some of them definitely aren't given enough credit. I just think like there are far less dues to pay now as opposed to like when guys like McFoley were getting into business, like stuff like that. Like that's more what I mean. Like now, so many smaller wrestlers, and when I mean smaller, like guys like Punk, Bryan, Styles, those guys, they've proven Michaels and Bret Hart before then that they can be the main event. And I think that there's so many less dues that guys their size have to pay now because they've already proven that. And those dues have already been paid. So in a lot of ways, they drive down the paved roads in their fancy cars, but you can't forget who paved the roads for you. And people like Bret, people like Shawn, stuff like that. That's just kind of what I think with wrestling, at least. Hey, Ben. Oh, Ben's in a hazy. Because unfortunately, humans only feel bad for being shitty when they get caught. Sure, that's totally the case. People don't have any remorse when they're not caught because what consequence do they have to pay? What music do they have to face? None. I would say the closest we have to an old school wrestler nowadays is Drew McIntyre, and that's why he's my new favorite wrestler because he has that drive. Totally, totally love Drew McIntyre. He has the size, the strength, the look. He's old school. He puts on some fantastic matches. He's a good promo, a total professional. I absolutely love Drew McIntyre. I think he's great. I don't mean any. I apologize if I came off as if I was bashing the wrestlers. I don't mean to bash the wrestlers. I think it's the people around them, like management. I think they're the problem. I think it's just too much of, oh, well, we'll protect you. Well, don't come off the top rope anymore and make this big, dangerous move. No, well, you don't want to get injured. I understand that it's risk, but the old saying is true. It ain't ballet. On a Big Four pay-per-view at a WrestleMania, you got to take a big chance. You want people to remember you, remember your match, remember you after the match. You've got to take that big chance. And I'm not saying you got to jump off a fucking 100-foot cell. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying hit us with a left when we think we're going to get a right. Do something crazy. Do something that stands out and like in a good way. And I think there are limits, but I think that's the biggest thing. They're a little too coddled now, the talent, and it's management's fault, in my humble opinion. More people in general now are more responsible for their actions, owners, CEOs, etc., and lawsuits. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Wrestlers are very pretty nowadays. Yeah, totally. A little too pretty. Totally. Blair Witch is so bad. There's a kill involving a girl falling from a tree and a shitty looking witch. The writer tried to say on Twitter that it's not a witch. What the fuck is it then? A giant rotisserie chicken? I would believe that. Aside from that, I don't believe shit that guy says. Fuck the writer too. I think a lot of the wrestlers now, some of them look like just random jerk bodybuilders in the gym that you just say, shut up, you're good for a strong guy. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Fire, barbed wire still work for me. Totally. And like that's a lot of those guys, that was their careers. I mean, if you look at the deathmatch wrestlers, that's their life. Like they take fucking crazy life, concerning actions every time they get in the ring for a big match. That's too much to me. Like you don't have to do a death match every night. Like I think there's some fucking limits to that. Like, but to say on a big show they're not to do it, why not? It's a big show. It's a big payday. Like go for it. Why you got to be afraid? Absolutely. Go for the jugular and nail it, man. If you have the talent, you believe in yourself. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't take that chance. Screw what management says. I know that people get their panties in a bunch, but hey, I think if you want to make a name for yourself, you've really got to have your actions speak louder than your words nowadays, because a lot of the WWE stuff, at least, is all scripted. So if you can't take the ball and run with what they're writing for you, guys like Stone Cold and The Rock, they didn't have anybody writing for them. They just nailed it. And like I think that's a big part of what's missing now too, is the verbal. They don't have enough that they can say to really make them stars. I don't know. I think it's more action oriented now. Heck, I would love to make Drew McIntyre a movie star. Dude, hopefully someday, man. I would love to see it too. We're at the part where Julie tried to commit suicide and they come across this old man. And this is something I just love about this movie. I wanted to mention this, and I'll get back to the chat for sure. I love this old man, this old little like homeless hermit man in this. He is arguably the best character in this film. He walks up to him. He's like, man, your bitch is dead. Of course she's not. And there's a point coming up here. It's not now, but there's a point. He offers them like shelter for the night. And then he hands our lead a coin. and he says, "Hey, here's this coin." He goes, "Well, what the hell is this for?" And he goes, "Well, next time you see somebody and you can help them and give them this and tell them to return the favor to somebody else." And he goes, "There's no other reason to do it than just out of the kindness of your heart." And I love that character in this. That's such a nice, like, little side character to throw in. And he should survive. I hate that he dies in this movie. But I liked that little, like, do something nice for somebody just because, you know? And you don't see that a lot in zombie films or any horror films for that matter. But I just love this guy. I forget, they said his name at the beginning. I forgot. If somebody wants to look up his name, please tell me. I would try to, but my internet's been so shitty tonight. I don't want to crap it out again. I'm sorry. I don't like. I'm afraid I'm going to crash the stream. But this actor did a wonderful job, and I don't know, the he just gave such a nice heart and good vibe to this movie for me. Um, where are we at? I don't. I might have missed a couple, and that's mainly why I started to watch wrestling again because I quit when John Wayne. Oh my god, I hate John Cena. Yeah, I agree. Stuff like Jeff Hardy, high flying, Schwanna acrobatics, and the bump selling, Hulk Hogan slamming, Andre Cena slamming both Edge and Big Show, Sandman. Yes, yes, you gotta go there. You totally have to go there. To me, it's just it adds so much more to what's already there, and I think it can really help the talent more so at the end of the day. You got to take chances. It's a part of it. It's not ballet. And I know the people say, well, how far do you want them to go? To the limit. Go to the limit. But there are limits. You have to know that you can't go past them. That's my thing. Um, Riverman, yes. See, Mr. King Knee Gore, he likes Riverman. Love him. It's such a nice, feel good character in this movie that, it's funny. Does he have to be in it? No. Like, he's just kind of there to give them shelter. But Brian Usen, who I believe he also had hand in writing this, I just want to make sure. Actually, no, this was written by John Penny. John Penny, he adds this character in, and it could easily in any other film be a throwaway character. In this film, he's my favorite character, easily my favorite character, and the actor gives a wonderful performance because, again, a little bit more meat and potatoes to something that normally wouldn't have anything like that around it. Um, I don't know. I love this performance. He has a nice intensity to it. It sounds like something crazy and you gotta get out. This guy just has a fun time with his performance. I don't know on the Vestron Blu-ray if they interviewed him, if they got him. Would love to hear an interview with this guy. There'd be a lot more happy people. Man, this guy's so intense. You literally see sweat dripping from his head, man. He's gonna keep the watch outside. Not for nothing, my dude has a nice pad. Yeah, this is the part where he gives him the coins, thanking him. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Here's my coin, kid. I love that. This is just such a, oh man, it gives me the best, good, positive vibes. Mardi Gras coin. As long as that coin keeps circulating, there will always be somebody out there doing some good for somebody. Epic. I just love that. I think that's such a nice little, doesn't have to be in there, but it adds so much more to this movie. It makes me love this movie a lot more. It puts it on a different level personally. Sometimes in order to make something great, you have to go that limit and jump off the 10-foot building for your movie, but take the proper safety. Exactly. Have the happy medium. That's completely something that I 100% agree with, Ty. We're totally on the same page. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Cena either, but I will give him props. He loves the sport and entertainment side of things. and took chances. Yeah, no, that's the thing with him. And as much as I don't like him, that's the reason he got over is because he was so different. Come out in the jean shorts, the promos, the 5 moves of doom, like all of these things. It did set him apart for good, bad, or not, but it set him apart, and Vince really took him under his wing and made him the Hogan of our era. And that's really why John Cena took off. I'm not a fan, never liked him as a performer. Just he can cut a good promo, but overall, never, I don't know, just never appealed to me personally. But there's no denying that he is probably the most important wrestler they've had in the last 20 years because really he was the guy that put on Steve's boots and took the ball and ran with it until basically he just decided, hey, I'm done with this now. I look like fucking Ernest now, so I have to retire. Like, I don't know. I will be honest though, man. I think the biggest problem those people have now is the not putting over young talent. Like you had Goldberg come back a year ago and beat the Fiend. Like I can't support a sinking ship like that. I can't. Bill Goldberg should not be coming back and wrestling in any fucking match in any way, shape, or form. And number two, he shouldn't be beating anybody for a title. It's a disgrace in my opinion. And like I know I like Edge. I'm a huge Edge fan. He just won the Royal Rumble. I like him. I like him personally. I'm happy for him. But it's, dude, like you had your time. You've won your Royal Rumble. You had your world title matches. You had your big WrestleMania money feuds. It's time for somebody else, man. I just can't. I don't know. It just seems like they have the hardest time making a new performer, a new talent, the guy. They're deathly afraid of doing it. Um, it's disheartening because they have so many great young guys there, and they pretty much let them flounder, release them, have them in the mid card till they retire. Like it's just absurd to me. Like to me, a guy like Antonio Cesaro or Claudio, whatever. I know in the Indies his name is Claudio something. Um, that guy should have been a world champion. That guy was strong, charismatic, good looking. I mean, he had it all. And like they just immediately pulled out. Oh, why? Because he's Swiss. Like that's not a fucking reason to bury somebody, man. Like that guy had it all, and you just completely fucking push him to the side just because. There's never a good reason anymore. Vince is out of touch, and he still thinks that Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, all these guys. I get it, they draw money, but the fucking problem is when there will be a day when those motherfuckers can't do it anymore, and when that day comes, Vince is fucked. He's fucked. The Undertaker ain't wrestling no more. Granted, I don't know why people to this day still want to see the Undertaker wrestle. Dude, he's old. It's done. I love the dead man. He had a great career. But Jesus Christ, you got to give the younger talent their moment to shine in the sun, or else the sun's going to go out forever. It really is. That's just it's just so, oh my God, it's disheartening. I mean, look at Tom Cruise. He does death defying stunts, let alone his age, but he takes, exactly. Yeah, totally. You got to take the chances, but safety first. Amen, brother. Vince doesn't decide the champion, the people decide the champion, and I see people's champion is Drew McIntyre. Well, I love Drew McIntyre, so I think that's definitely a wonderful choice. I'm glad they put somebody fucking young over. Granted, I think if I'm not mistaken, he lost to Randy Orton. I know he just wrestled Goldberg, and he won, thankfully, but still, he shouldn't fucking have to wrestle Goldberg. Oh my God, Goldberg's old. Like, just enough with fucking Goldberg, man. Shit. I like the bad guy Roman now. I know a lot of people hate him, but I think he brings one thing that a lot of people in that company is missing, and that's intensity. That guy's fucking intense. And is he a great technician? No. And I know a lot of people now that's what they want to see, the great technicians. He's not a great technician, but he's a good promo. He's got great intensity. He's got a good look to him. Heyman as the manager, that's really good. I like Roman Reigns a lot too. I'm a kind of a big fan. Always kind of have been. I wasn't too big when they awkwardly pushed him at the beginning, like when he won the 2015 Rumble. But since then, I think he's really. It was that match with Brock at that year's Mania, the first WrestleMania 31, and he just took the biggest ass kicking I've ever seen a human being taken. and he kept coming, and it was almost like Rocky and Rocky 1, where of course in the second one where Apollo's manager, he goes, I saw you beat that man like I never seen no man get beat before. And he kept coming after you. That's not a man we need in our lives, baby. Rest in peace, Mr. Bill Duke. Oh my God, I love him. Was it Bill Duke? What the hell was his name? I forget his damn name, man. I thought it was Bill something. I forget, but I love that actor. I agree. Yeah, fuck Goldberg, man. Vince had become the Virginia McKaysey of wrestling. Yeah, that's true. Vince should just sign the company over to one of his kids. Don't know which one, dude. Anybody that just put somebody else over, for the love of God. Yeah, totally. Hell, Goldberg was mediocre wrestler even in his prime. Yeah, that's the thing. Like he hurts people. He injures people. Like he nearly fucking gave the Undertaker a concussion. Like you're still gonna pay him big 6-figure paychecks against your young talent that he could potentially hurt just because Goldberg's trying to impress his fat son. That's what Goldberg said. Goldberg was like, I only came back to impress my son. Fuck you. Fuck. I hate Bill Goldberg. I like The Rock's cousin Roman. Yeah, I like Roman too, for sure. Yeah, no, though. I'm Bill Goldberg he is the bottom of the. He's probably my least favorite wrestler of all time. I hate that motherfucker. Let me try to impress my fat son. Fuck you. Absolutely hate that piece of shit. Let me not put over anybody either. Let me spear the Fiend out of the main event. He's the hottest talent you had. I can't support them. I really can't support them. Oh God, gives me just a bad taste in my mouth. We have the lead heel cutting a nice promo right now with a gun to the head of our protagonist. Oh, and now the door is open. I believe is the living dead girl at the door. Don't quote me. There she is. The living dead girl. Crawl on me. Singing to me. Die for me. Living dead girl. Oh, shit. Melinda Clarke in the flesh, baby. Oh, my God. See, these practical effects. Incredible stuff. Piercings everywhere. Gotta remind yourself, 25 hours of shit went into this. 25 hours of makeup. Well, 8 hours of makeup, 5 hours to get off, so 13 hours of makeup, and then a 12-hour workday. But still, oh my gosh. And I like the detail of all of it and the way she moves her body. Really well directed scene, man. That's like the number one shot I remember from this movie, her emerging from the door and like them showing everything, like all the nooks and crannies of the makeup. Really, really good stuff. And they're all like, oh shit. Like the whole movie just stops just to see her. Goldberg matches now are HBS. That's pretty much what they always were. Just except it was like 7 less spears. Goldberg was a good gimmick in 1999, though. Yeah, he was. But you know what, dude? Like, fucking 22 years later, he needs to retire. I'm sorry. Like, just hang it up, brother. Hang it up, Goldberg. I've had it, man. Heck, I think the Undertaker should go into acting. Like I say, get Undertaker as Elias Voorhees, dude. That would be a riot. I hope they don't do a Jason origin stuff. I really hope they don't do that. I just feel like it just defeats the purpose. This league villain, you look like my kind of bitch. Oh shit. Bad move, my guy. Melinda Clarke does not want your dick, man. She's just gonna literally rip out your spine with your head still attached to it, Predator style, baby. Um, Undertaker and Dustin Rhodes would be a good movie team. Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. Goldust and the Undertaker, bro. That'd be fire. This is, and I'm a big, always one of those people that advocates. I'm not a big off-screen person, but I like that this struggle is done off-screen because while I'm able to fill in the horror with my mind, when she comes out, you see an insane aftermath. I love that about this. Oh, of course, the Riverman has been shot because he should have survived. The Riverman totally should have survived. No reason to kill him. Oh, you're Santo screaming, no good. Santo! Melinda Clarke has done her duty. Oh my god, this is so epic. Oh, Santo's head! Oh my god! Yeah, like that fucking pea shooter is gonna do anything to her, my guy. I would run to my car. Julie, did you rip off that man's head and spine? Yes. He was gonna try to rape her. Like, they all look horrified. I guess I would be pretty horrified too. Oh, she took one shot to the chest. Complete no sell. Dude, run, brother. What are you doing? Or shoot her in the head at least. Granted, that ain't gonna do shit. Oh, guns gone down. Oh, really fun, cheesy sound effects. Oh, this lip bite. This lip bite's incredible. You crazy bitch! Oh, man. Nasty ass lip bite. Oh, you do not get away with calling Melinda Clarke a bitch. Oh! See, she has a spike in her hand, stabs the lady's thigh, and just slowly, like, pushes down. Another really good gore effect. Gore effects in this movie are top notch. Oh, man. Great stuff. I hope they get Uwe Boll to direct a Friday the 13th prequel. Well, dude, I hope not. That would be really bad. I mean, I feel as the director, you should go above and beyond for your crew and remember that you were making this for entertainment. Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, that should be your goal. It's just sometimes, like, and I was saying before with that King Kong '05 movie, the films can become self-indulgent. You know, it happens. Worst example of oh my god, that movie. Oh, some of the worst off-screen kills ever. The one I'll never get over, the one with the boyfriend who runs up to the room. I'm coming for you, baby. And they cut the scene, and like when they cut back, they're both dead. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, oh man, that was bad. In the theater, I literally was like, I squirmed in my seat. I was like, they cut that out? Like, why? I don't. Oh man, I not a fan of that movie. Never will be. That is not a good film. And you know what's funny, Aiden? All the marks are going, oh, Halloween Kills. They're gonna amp up the fucking gore and shit. I'm like, yo, they already fucking did that in the original Halloween 2. And like all of a sudden now that movie gets hate, which me and Nate, the Hardboy 465, my good brother, we call bullshit on that because that movie is awesome and it has always been awesome. I don't get the like absolute utmost hate for that people have for it now. It just makes no sense. Did anybody know that J.R.R. Tolkien was working on a sequel to Lord of the Rings and was definitely going for more of a horror approach with the book? I did not know that. That's very interesting. Would he get Peter Jackson back, or would he get a new director to get a new feel? That'd be interesting. I would think they'd have to go back to Peter Jackson just because of the success of the trilogy. But at the same time, if you're going for a new feel, I guess you got to go new director, new route, right? I would think. I don't know. And I like this practical effect where the zombie, he literally has his spine, it's ripped out of his body, and then his head is attached to the end of it. Oh, Riverman with a nice swing of the bat took his head off. I almost feel like this is a sort of homage to the original film where the zombies are trying to get into the boarded area and they're beating them off with like blunt objects and shit. That's totally a nod to the original. One of few nods you really get. Like it's funny, like the original Return of the Living Dead, in a lot of ways, I think is such a hard movie to follow up because it reinvents the zombie genre, but it's so hard to like make a second one. And that's why Return of the Living Dead 2, I think, is sort of a flop in my opinion, because it's a G-rated remake of the first one. Like this, I think they took the concept, they made it darker, they toned it down with instead of an apocalypse, they made it just two people and the people they encounter. Like I like that aspect of this way more. It's such a dialed down sequel. And that's why this works. I don't know. I don't know if you could have made a really proper Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Like, I don't, it's one of those movies that, like, I would love to rebook, but I don't know where I would start. I can open the floor. If y'all could make a Return of the Living Dead 2, let's say the original came out and you were the writer and Dan O'Bannon comes to you and say, hey, you know, I want to pass you the torch. I want you to make the sequel. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Like, because I don't know, maybe some people like the original part 2 and you can tell me why, but I would completely not do what they did. Maybe they would do something more like this, but again, it doesn't feel as grand of a scale. Like, I wonder if you could have done that big budget sequel like that. It's just it's an interesting discussion topic for sure. I don't know if anybody has you know any creative input here, but I'm definitely down to listen to y'all out. Hell, the Rob Zombie Halloween films are gory. I was a fan of Halloween 2018 at first, but just didn't want to face the fact that I was disappointed. Hey, anybody that liked the film, I don't mean to like rain on your parade. I just personally didn't care for it. You know what it did do? It had been a while since a big franchise movie like that had satisfied the common moviegoer. And that movie, for whatever reason, it did. People loved their theater experiences. I've heard 101 great stories of people that say, hey, I marked out in the theater. I had a great time with my date, with my friends, whatever. And like at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. And I'm happy that those people enjoy themselves. I personally, just for me, I don't ever speak for anybody else. I can't put words in anybody else's mouth. Personally, was very let down by it. I just didn't have the same fun time or enjoyment that most other people did. That's just me. But I don't mean to rain on anybody's parade if you liked it. That's just my dude. Apparently, a lot of people. I just like once that movie came out, people were like, "Oh, this is the best sequel." Fuck Halloween 2. Halloween, they're brother and sister. It's not scary. That like I hear that all the time. And I'm like, I'm just like, God damn, like whatever. Like I will never agree with those people. I get it. It's a lame plot point to make them brother and sister, but if you think that takes anything away from the great slasher film that Halloween 2 is, I don't agree. It's just my personal thing. Um, well, first I would say find an author to finish the 13 pages that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, and then find a true underground horror director and give him the money to make the film. Well, I like that, Ty. What do you want to make it, brother? I think they should give you the money to make it. How about the sequel to War and Peace? War, what is good for? Absolutely nothing. Oh, where's Rush Hour? Where's my Rush Hour fans at? I hope we have some Rush Hour fans in the Easy. I love Rush Hour, man. One of my faves. John Carpenter says Halloween Kills the ultimate slasher film. No, fuck that shit, man. I don't. Yeah, they're not related anymore yet. He keeps chasing her. Oh, it's still scary, huh? It's really, we don't know who he's going to be after. Bullshit. I call bullshit. The real Halloween 2 is definitely my second favorite. My first favorite is Halloween 6 because I like the cult angle as Christian. It's just creepy to me, but Halloween 2 adds a whole lot. I love Halloween 2 too as well. I'll never forget my first time watching Halloween 2, just being in awe and like just the Mr. Sandman and seeing Jamie Lee and Donald Pleasance together. And I don't know. I love that film. I love the hospital, setting. And it's one of my favorite films. I love Halloween 2. It's probably my favorite of the entire series. And I guess there's the part of me that really loves that film doesn't like people shitting on it. And I think they shit on it and say Halloween 20 is better. So part of me, that stigma's there for me too. I don't like people saying that. Granted, when I first saw the film, I was not a part of it. I had problems with it anyway. But I don't know. That's just me. I like Halloween 2. I'm a fan of it. I would have gotten Tobe Hooper to direct the sequel. He was originally going to direct the original, but he was busy making Life Force. Wouldn't that have been interesting? Because he would have been coming off Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is a sequel that tones up all the fun. What if you brought him in, and you made him do the opposite for Return of the Living Dead 2? Return of the Living Dead 2. You had him tone everything down, just like this film does, but on a more grand scale. And then you could keep this film in there and just have it as a trilogy, because I think this is a really, really good third film. I would have just liked to have seen the big budget sequel toning it more seriously. But then at the end of the day, you're losing some of the heart of the original. So I don't know. I don't know how you make a sequel to Return of the Living Dead. I really don't. So part of that goes out to Return. There is some sympathy there because I don't know what the fuck I would have done. I just wouldn't have done a G-rated zombie movie. That's just kind of my 2 cents. Love Halloween 2 as well. Love Halloween 2 as well. Yeah, completely. My top 3: Halloween 2, Halloween, H2, and H4. I think those are the top 3 as well. Yeah, well, Halloween 3, Halloween 4. I probably put Halloween 3 just over Part 4. But with the Michael Myers ones, totally those are my favorite 3. I like 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be like, I like those the best. The rest of them, I can take them or leave them, to be honest. Though sometimes I like Halloween 4 better than Halloween 2. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people do because it's in Haddonfield, whereas the second one is the hospital setting. So it's completely, you don't get as much of the Halloween atmosphere with part 2. You just get this creepy hospital atmosphere. But that's why I love it. But I could totally, Halloween 4 is a great sequel, man. Really like Dwight H. Little, man. That's a great movie. My top 3 are H3, H1, and H2. Dude, that's a wonderful top 3. I'd probably be the same top 3, just a slightly different order, but I love those. I would ask George Romero permission if I can say that Dawn of the Dead is a movie in Return of Living Dead 2 and go with that. Huh. So are you saying that you'd use Dawn of the Dead as the sequel to Return of the Living Dead? I'm confused. If the Dawn of the Dead is a movie in Return of Living Dead 2 and go with that. Oh, or like Dawn of the Dead is a movie in that universe? I'm confused. Educate me, good brother. We're towards the end of the film now of this, and our protagonist, he sees all the other zombies. They're all in like cages, and of course you see Melinda Clarke covering her ginormous boobies. My dude with the fucking the main antagonist with his skull and fucking spine sticking out. Specimen 32, the living dead girl. Absolutely love her. Melinda Clarke's awesome. It's such a shame. She said that after this film, she completely avoided doing horror for the rest of her career. That's a shame. Because I would have liked to have seen her become like a big scream queen. I definitely think she has the charisma and the looks for it. Would have been really nice to see her become a big scream queen, but I don't know. I don't know if she wasn't. She's not a fan. If your heart's not in it, it's best to move on to other things. And I'm glad she did. She found roles. I think Ben Grimm was saying she was on the OC as the mom, as the hot mom. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm glad she got work after this. Oh no, they're gonna drill into the Riverman's head. Oh, they have the Riverman in this weird like robotic suit almost. It looks like the trap from Saw 3, the rack. That's what it kind of looks like. Only it's a lot less shitty. Um, sorry, I hate Saw 3, but no, this is weird, man. Like they almost look like all these people are like industrial experiments. Oh man. Oh, sickle and a sledgehammer too. Oh my god. Like a robotic Frankenstein almost. Oh, I guess they're trying to like control them here. This is a weird thing they add at the end of this film. It almost feels like it is up for like a sequel bait ending. I don't know though. It's weird. Like it's almost like they set it up like, oh, we're gonna try to control them in the next one, and then of course the next one is Necropolis, which fucking stinks. Hold on, I skipped one. Do you think it was because of harsh shooting that she avoided horror? I definitely think that was part of it. I think also too, like what I have a hard time realizing because I am a fan. Sometimes people are just not fans of horror. Like it's funny on a daily basis, like or if I meet new people or whatever, it usually comes up that I'm a horror fan. Like a lot of them go, "Ooh, I don't like that." Like it's automatic. It's almost like you say like something crazy, but they're just like, "Oh, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that shit." You know. And maybe she's just one of those people. Maybe she's just not a fan of it. And like, hey, I respect that. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. And that I think was the case. But again, like we were talking about before, Trenchy, if you put somebody through 8 hours of makeup, 5 hours to take it off, a 12-hour shooting day, and say, hey, go drive home. We'll see you tomorrow. I can't really blame them for having some hostility and resentment. So I think it was a factor of all those things. I think it was a lack of passion and a really, really bad experience filming this film. And of course, she was not comfortable filming the sex scene at the beginning. Um, when it's not your cup of tea and when you're uncomfortable doing your job, that's probably a good green light to get the fuck out. And she did. But I will say that I'm happy she got out, and I'm happy she went on to do other things that made her happy. But what's cool about her, what I think separates her from actresses or actors that don't want to talk about horror films nowadays, is the fact that she was cool enough to come back and say, hey, let me discuss my experience with this film. You know, what it's the least I can do. Why not? Um, there's a lot of actors and actresses that don't do that. And like personally, she's one of my favorites, Pamela Springsteen. I am so heartbroken that she doesn't want to talk about that role. If for 10-minute interview, I would spend stupid money to see Pamela Springsteen come back talk about that character, but she's just not. You can tell. Number one, she doesn't need the money. I mean, she's Bruce's sister. She's doing the photography stuff. Number two, she doesn't love it. She never did. It was a gig. It was a job, and it was a business to her. You know, and that's the thing. You know, Gene Wilder always said, I love the show, I hate the business. Sometimes there are people that love the business and hate the show. And that in that case, I think that was the perfect prime example. And you have people like Felicia Rose, who barely had any lines in the original Sleepaway Camp. However, she really embraces being known as the horror chick and does a ton of horror movies and stuff. So I don't know. Part of me thinks that that's really cool too. I really like that she embraces it. You're just going to have always have different mediums there. People that embrace it, people that don't embrace it, people that want anything to do with it. You know, that stuff, it's almost, it just varies. Oh, I watched Halloween, the lazy no subtitle of Michael Myers, but I'm a sequel in theaters, but I didn't watch it. I was busy with my girl. Nice, good for you. I definitely recommend that over watching that movie. Yeah, a lot of people aren't into horror. Like a lot of people aren't into romantic movies. I like a little bit of everything, but I get it. Yeah, I'm same here. I definitely think I have a good variety. Like, sure, there are some films I don't like some like I'm not a giant fan of like uh big bug movies from the 50s. It's just not my thing. But I don't hate them. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I'll give them a chance, always. Gosh, I mean, I'm not that strong of a writer to write J.R.R. Tolkien and finish the book. I can definitely try to work on her tale as a huge fan. Dude, why not, man? Go for it. Hell yeah, Sleepaway Camp 2 is my favorite. Yeah, oh, dude, Sleepaway Camp 2 is a masterpiece. Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 are two of my favorite slasher movies of all time. Well, the same way that Night of the Living Dead is a movie and Return of the Living Dead Part 1, I would say, oh, okay, I like it. Yeah, and then, okay, no, dude, I get that. That's meta. That's actually super meta. I like that. You can do that too. I just don't know, like, I don't know where you go. Like, it's just such a hard sequel to do. In a lot of ways, this is probably the only sequel you could have made. Just one that's toned down on a lesser scale using the trioxin and zombies and the brains and that I get. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it could have had that big budget sequel. I just don't know what I would have done with it. That'd be one I'd like to sit down and maybe just brainstorm one of these days. Drive is probably my favorite romance film. Dude, Drive is amazing. The visuals in that movie are off the charts. I'm a big fan of that director's style. I think he does a great job with his films. I believe he also, Aiden would know, he also did Neon Demon, correct? Nicholas Winding Refn, I think is his name. The Neon Demon is one of my favorite movies. That's just completely, like when I watched that, I got such Suspiria and Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, but from a newer film. Just right then and there won my heart. Love the Neon Demon. We're at the finale here, and all the zombies are attacking our leads, and they're running. Oh man, this is great. Old school. This feels almost like a Universal monster movie at points. Like some of these designs for the zombies, they're very old school, but I really like it. Um, yeah, we all have genres that aren't our favorite, but yeah, I agree. I give it, yeah, 100%. Gotta be a little bit, have a little bit of variety, you know. And then I would cast Lou Ferrigno as Zombie Slayer. Yeah, Lou Ferrigno, bring the Hulk back. Why the hell not? Yep, Neon Demon is my favorite Refn film. I want Refn to work with Argento. Dude, could you imagine? That would be really cool. I like him. I wish Refn would do more horror. I think that would be really, really cool to see, man. I'm a big fan of him. Dude, Neon Demon's fantastic. Highly recommend the Neon Demon. That's a really, really good movie. Oh, that's actually a decent jump scare. Oh, and he's bit. Our lead has been bit. Oh no. And now this is where you get the classic, like, in a lot of ways, it's a nod to Romeo and Juliet, but it's more of a nod to Bride of Frankenstein, I think, where the two of them, they realize that they have to die. And like, I love the original Bride of Frankenstein, where Frankenstein, he lets Dr. Frankenstein, this woman, go, and he grabs the self-destruction lever. You two go. We belong dead. Pulls it, bam, the bride, Frankenstein, and everybody blows up. I think that this ending scene, there's so much of a nod to that, because these two, they know that they love each other, but the only way for them to end happily ever after is if they die in the incinerator together. And I don't know, I think there's just a tremendous heart to that, and I really like the romantic angle to it. Like, for most of this movie, it's I'll make it work even though you're a zombie, you're the love of my life. And then now at the end, we're both infected, we're both fucked, let's make out and literally jump into the blaze of fucking fire together, and that's how their true love kind of ends. Really, I don't know, sappy, but I like it. Open the biofilter. Maybe a possible nod to James Cameron in the original when he jumps in the incinerator. Neon Demon, knowing nothing, is one of my. Oh, dude, totally. Yeah, I won't ruin Neon Demon for anybody. That's an awesome movie. You get this great shot here. So the cinematographer just captured this: the fire behind them, the two of them crying, and then the slow kiss. Where are we going? Where we belong. That's totally a nod to Bride of Frankenstein. We belong dead. They do. It's just, it wouldn't be horrific if they made it out happily ever after. They kind of have to die. We get our score, our fire. Really heartfelt final line there. And then bam, special effects makeup Steve Johnson. Like, you right there, you just like Tom Railston, Kevin Brennan. That's the first names you see, is all the special makeup effects guys, because you know that they were a really big reason as to why this movie works. And I always liked that. I always appreciated that. I appreciated that. I don't know whose call that was. I don't know if that was the director's call to say, hey, first and foremost, these people with these amazing effects, because that makes our film stand out. I don't know whose call that was, but I really like that call, because I definitely agree. They were the stars of the film in a lot of ways. Um, I think that's still a great little movie. I don't know. I love Return of the Living Dead Part 3. The Living Dead Girl never fails to disappoint. A perfect one to watch around Valentine's Day. I was really glad to revisit this one tonight, man, because this was a lot of fun. I don't know. Not one that I ever planned to do a commentary on, but I'm glad we did. We had some nice conversations in here. Refn returning to horror. He's developing a Maniac Cop TV show. He's a fan of that franchise. Refn did a commentary for Maniac Cop 2. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. The makeup in this film is top notch. Great gore effects for a low budget film. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, I could agree with all of that. I think it's really, really good stuff. I think this one's super underrated, and I'm glad that it got a special edition Blu-ray, even though I haven't got my hands on it yet. I'd like to get the Vestron Blu-ray release of Blood Diner. That's the one I really want to get from them. But I'd love to upgrade this too. I gotta admit though, this DVD does not look bad at all. Like, if you told me I watched it in slightly lower quality than 1080p, I would believe, like, slightly lower, because it still looked really good. I don't know. Lionsgate always does a good job with their shit too, so I give them props where it's deserved. Um, yeah. Here, I'll hit the end button here. Stevie Johnson, awesome killer effects. But yeah, I guess unless there's anything anybody else wants to talk about before we go, I guess that's going to be, we're going to call it a night here. I don't know if Mr. Zitro is still in the house, but next week, I can give a little show promotion here. Next week on Grande's Graveyard, we become maniacs. Oh, yes, that's right. We are talking about the original 1980 William Lustig directed film starring the late, great Joe Spinell. It is Maniac from 1980. One of the all-time great character study horror films. Just an excellent performance from Joe Spinell. I'm really excited to talk about that one with him. Um, and of course, we are actually going to be talking about the Maniac sequel that we never got, Maniac 2. There were about 12 minutes filmed of it. It's funny, it's actually very similar to the plot of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, where Joe Spinell is going to be playing this clown and who goes crazy. Go figure. And then we will be talking about the 2012 remake from Frank Calhoun, starring Elijah Wood from, of course, the Lord of the Rings fame. We talked about those enough tonight. Um, the Maniac remake from 2012, which is parts of it is shot on video, if I remember. I haven't seen the film since it came out, so that'll be another one I'll be talking about next week. I'm super excited about that. As long as AJ's still down to come on, because he said he wanted to do the week after Valentine's Day. So I don't know if he's still here. I don't know. He hasn't said anything in the chat. He might have left, but if not, if no good, I could always do Teen Titans season 2, season 3. Always down to do whatever. Also, I've thought of like some other show ideas. I want to do at some point the VHS movies, because I read that they're going to do a VHS reboot called VHS 94. So I'd love to do those movies. That's definitely going to be on the to-do list. I'd like to do like an episode on Killer Kids. I think that'd be a fun one. Maybe do Orphan and Mikey, or Orphan and the Good Son, just because I just bought Orphan. I'd like to discuss this. I don't know. I kind of have 100 different episode ideas running through my mind. But next week, as of right now, it looks like we're going to do Maniac. As long as AJ's still cool, we will do that. If not, I could definitely always go back to the Teen Titans or, whatever. We definitely have tons and tons of stuff to talk about, and I'm always excited for that. Blood Diner is awesome. Dude, yeah, I love Blood Diner. I got to get that Blu-ray for sure. We'll definitely have to check out Return of the Living Dead sequels for sure. Yes, if you do, let me know what you think of Part 3, because Part 3 is my favorite of the sequels. Nice, thank you. Yeah, Maniac is awesome. Fun fact, main character in Maniac was going to appear in Maniac Cop 2. Yes, I do know that. Maniac 2012 is one of the best remakes ever. I remember really liking it too, and I'm sort of excited to revisit it because it's been since 2012 since I watched it. I watched it the week it came out on VOD, and I haven't watched it since. So this is another movie, because I don't know, lately I've been rewatching movies that has been 10 plus years since I've seen them. I don't know why, but I'm actually excited to give that one a rewatch. VHS totally my favorite of the three. I love VHS 2. I believe VHS 1 is on Prime Video now. And I rewatched it about a week ago with my buddy. And I don't know, it's just me. I was like, I want to talk about this franchise. I haven't really done this. And I don't always do the newest franchises, but that's kind of a new franchise that I'd like to talk about. Until we get to VHS Viral. Oh boy, that will be a fun rant. That will be a rant and a half, man. I don't know. That's a bad flick. But I like part 2 the best. The Indonesian cult segment is like one of my favorite horror segments ever. It's just fucking wild. Like from beginning, middle to end, that segment is just absolute magic. I love it. Yeah, but with that said, next week, like I said, lean towards Maniac. If not, no worries. Always have backup shows planned for that. So I will let AJ know. I'll keep in touch with y'all, and I'll let you know as soon as I do. But tonight, guys, I had a fun time talking all things Return of the Living Dead 3, and then other stuff. We talked everything: wrestling, actors, actresses, treating people correctly. We covered the whole fucking gambit on this commentary. I had a blast talking all things with you guys. You guys are a great audience. I love talking all things horror with you. VHS is great. Love the cult segment if Clive Barker made a found footage film. Oh man, yeah, that's true. Or if he ever made something like that, I would love it to be something like Martyrs, because I love Martyrs. Great show, man. Stay frosty. Thank you so much, Trenchy. I appreciate you all checking the show out. But yes, we will catch you next time. We will catch you next week. Everyone, I'll steal your line, Trenchy. I'm sorry. Stay frosty, because we've been getting a lot of snow. Stay frosty, stay safe, stay beautiful. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody. Thank you guys for joining my graveyard tonight. The gates are now closed. We will catch you next time here only on the graveyard. Too sweet, peace, and we'll catch you next time.